Lesson 6, analyzing portfolios. So a portfolio is all of your investments and anything that you've put money into all put together, and you keep them so that you can see how much money you've made over the years. So we're going to analyze this portfolio. You start to build an investment portfolio for your retirement. You purchased a $500 CSB at the end of each year for 10 years. The first 5 CSBs earned a fixed rate of 4.2% compounded annually. The next 5 CSBs earned a fixed rate of 4.6% compounded annually. And then 3 years ago, you purchased a $4,000 GIC that earned 6% compounded monthly. So we're going to start with the first little section. So you're doing this for 10 years, so we're going to make a chart. Year 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And each year, you're buying a CSB. And you're buying it for $500. So your P would be 500. Your rate for the first 5 years is 4.2%, so 0.042. And the number of compounding periods, it's compounded annually, so is 1. Now the term is going to change every year. So that's what we're going to change and do it into our chart. And a thing that we're going to just do quickly on the side here is the 1 plus R over N, just so that we can save some space in our chart. So 1 plus R over N is 1 plus, for the first 5 years, it's 0.042 over 1. So it's 1.040, too many zeros, 0.42. And then for the next 5 years, it's at a percent of 4.6%, so it's 1.046. So we're going to plug this into our compound interest formula. For the first year, we're putting $500 in at a rate of 1.042. And then we're going to do that for 9 years. Not 10 years, because you don't count the first year. So that's going to hold for 9 years. And when you type that into your calculator, you should get 724.07. The second year, you're depositing $500 at 1.042. This year, it's only going to hold for 8 years. So your T value is going to change. You should get 694.88. So what I want you to do is pause the video and go all the way up to the first 5 years. So fill in the chart. So when you fill out the next 3 numbers, you should get 639.99, 614.20, 598.54. So that's your first 5 years. The next 5 years, you have a different rate. It's 1.046. So when we plug this in, it'll be the same thing. You're still investing $500 a year, but at 1.046. And at 6 years, it'll only hold for 4 years. So pause the video and calculate these numbers. It'll be 1.046 to the power of 3. All right, so when you're done, you should get these numbers, and I missed one of them up here, so I wrote them in wrong, but these are the 10 numbers that you should get. So this is how much each investment makes each year. So to figure out how much you made total in these CSBs, you would add them all together. So when you add together all of this information, you should get 6080.83. So from your CSBs, you bought one every year for 10 years. You made $6,080.83. So that's the first part of your portfolio. So we did this and we did this. Now we also bought a GIC. So for the CSB, we'll just write that number. You also bought a GIC, and you bought it 3 years ago. And it's a $4,000 investment, 6% compounded monthly. So A, P, R, N, T. We don't know what our future value is, Our purchase value was $4,000. Our rate was 0.06. It was compounded monthly, so 12. And it was 3 years ago, so for 3 years. So we'll plug that into our compound interest formula. A is equal to P1 plus R over N to the power of NT. So we have 4,000, 1 plus 0.06 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 3. If you simplify in the brackets, so 0.06 divided by 12 plus 1, you should get 1.005. And we're going to raise that to the power of 3 times 12, which is 36. So type that all into your calculator at once, and you should get 4786.72. So your GIC earned 4786.72. So to analyze your portfolio's worth after the 10 years, we would take the amount from our CSB and add it to the amount from the GIC. And altogether, you should get $10,867.55. So 10,867.55. So that is how much money is in your portfolio after 10 years. Okay, question B. You find a saving account that earns 4.9% compounded semi-annually. You redeem your portfolio, invest all the monies in your saving account. How long will it take you to double your money? So it's the rule of 72. Anytime you see something is being doubled, so you take 72 and divide it by 4.9, the percent as a percent, and you get 14.694, so roughly 14 and a half years to double. Example 2, you're starting a portfolio and you have $2,500 saved so far. You can commit to saving $50 a month from your part-time job. You can buy a 6-year GIC that earns 5.1% compounded semi-annually and deposit your monthly savings into a high-interest savings account that earns 4.3% compounded monthly. What will your portfolio be worth in 6 years? So first, let's start with our savings. So the high-interest savings account, we've saved $2,500 so far. So A, P, R, N, T, where our principal is $2,500. Our rate is 4.3%, which is 0.043. Our compounding periods is monthly, so it is 12. Just kidding, that's our monthly savings. Our monthly savings isn't $2,500. That is very high. We're committing $550 a month. So we're committing $50 a month, which is 50 for P. Our rate is 0.043. Our N is 12. Our T is 6, because we are doing this for 6 years. So because this is a regular payment, we would be using the regular payment formula. So A is equal to P, bracket, big bracket, 1 plus R over N to the power of NT minus 1 divided by R over N. So we're going to plug this in. We can find our R over N. So R over N is 0.043 divided by 12, which will be a repeating decimal, so we can leave it like that. So our P value is 50. So 50 bracket 1 plus 0.043 over 12 to the power of N times T. So 6 times 12 is 72. minus 1 divided by 0.043 divided by 12. So we're going to plug this all into your formula, so you should start with the top. So 0.043 divided by 12 equals, plus 1 equals, to the power of 72 equals, minus 1 equals, divided by, bracket, 0.043 divided by 12, bracket, equals. And then you should times that by 50, and you will get $4,098.73. So that is how much you're making on your monthly savings for 6 years. So write that number down, make sure you have it. We also need to figure out our GIC that we are going to buy for $2,500. So for our GIC, our P value is 2,500. Our R is 5.1%, which is 0.051. Our N, it's compounded semi-annually, so it's 2. And our term is for 6 years. So we have 2,500, bracket, 1 plus 0.051 divided by 2 to the power of 2 times 6. So if you do inside the brackets first, you will get 2,500 times 1.0255 to the power of 2 times 6, which is 12. And you should get $3,381.96. So that is how much you made on your GIC. So altogether for your portfolio, you would take the two numbers and add them together. So 4098.73 plus 3381.96, and you get $7,480.69. So that is how much money you have after 6 years. If we want to figure out how much interest we earned, we would have to determine first how much we put in ourselves. So we know we put in $2,500. That was our first investment. We also know that we did $50 a month for 6 years. So $50 a month, so there's 12 months for 6 years. So 50 times 12 times 6 is $3,600. So to figure out how much was interest, we're going to take 7,480.69, subtract $2,500, and subtract $3,600. And you should get $1,380.69. So that is how much interest you earned. All right, example 3, we're comparing two portfolios for 10 years. What I want you to do is draw a line down the middle of the page because you're going to need to save your space. But I am going to use the whole screen. I'll try to. So, first we're going to compare two investments. So let's just do this one first on the left side of the page. So first we're going to see how much they invested themselves. So first, they did a 10-year, $2,000 GIC that earned 4.2% compounded semi-annually. So that means that they are investing $2,000. Their next investment is a savings account that earns 1.8% compounded weekly. So you're saving $55 every week. So that would be $55 times 52 every week for 10 years. So that's how much you're investing for that part of your account. And the last one is a 5-year, $4,000 bond that earns 3.9% compounded quarterly, which you'll reinvest in another bond at an interest rate of 4.1. So you're investing another $4,000. So to figure this out, we go 2,000, 55 times 52 times 10 is 28,600, plus another 4,000. So you've invested $34,600. So that's just good to start with because it just shows how much money you yourself are putting in. Now we're going to figure out the interest on each of these things. So first we'll do the first part, which was the black writing. So we're taking $2,000 and we're investing it into a compound interest. So 2,000 at a rate of 4.2%, so 0.042. Compounded semi-annually, so twice a year for 10 years. So we have A is equal to 2,000 bracket 1 plus 0.042 over 2 to the power of 2 times 10. And if you do the inside of your brackets, 0.042 divided by 2 plus 1 is 1.021 to the power of 2 times 10, which is 20. So this number comes out to $3,030.71. So that is for your first GIC. Now we are going to do our second part, which is a $55 weekly investment. So we're investing $55. Our rate is 0.018. It's paid weekly, and it is compounded weekly. And we're doing this for 10 years. So because this is a regular payment formula, it's A is equal to P bracket 1 plus R over N to the power of NT minus 1 divided by R over N. So when we plug this in, it'll be 55 times 1 plus 0.018 over 52. We want to do our NT, which is 52 times 10, which is 520. So this is to the power of 520 minus 1 divided by 0.018 over 52. So you should be able to type this all in at once. So you start here. So 0.018 divided by 52 equals plus 1 to the power of 520 equals minus 1 equals divided by bracket 0.018 divided by 52 bracket equals, and then times it by 55, and you get $31,329.72. So there are our first two we've done. So we've done that part of the portfolio, and we've done this part of the portfolio. Now we're going to do our last part. So I'm just going to write this up here so I don't lose it. So our first one was $3,030.71. And our second one was $31,329.72. So for part 3, we're doing a $4,000 bond. So A, P, R, N, T. So $4,000 at 3.9%, so 0.039, compounded quarterly, so 4 for 5 years. And then what we're going to do is once we've figured that out, you're going to reinvest it after 5 years at a different rate. So we'll first figure this out. So A is equal to 4,000 times 1 plus 0.039 over 4 to the power of 4 times 5, which is 20. And when we type this all into your calculator, you should get 4856.65. So what we do then, after this 5 years, our P is going to change. Our P is going to be 4856.65. Now our rate is at 4.1, so 0.041. So what that would mean is you put it into a compound interest for 5 years, and then you notice that the rate went up. So you take your money out, and you're going to reinvest it at a higher rate. So it's compounding quarterly still, and the term would be for the last 5 years. So you're going to go, A is equal to 4856.65. Brackets 1 plus 0.041 divided by 4 to the power of 4 times 6, which is 4 times 5, sorry, that's a 5, 20. So type that all into your calculator, and you should get 5955.44. So your last part of your portfolio earned you $5,955.44. So to figure out your total portfolio worth, you'll take those numbers and add them together. So 3030.71 plus 31329.72 plus 5955.44, and you get 40,315.87. To figure out your rate of return, you're going to take your interest and divide it by your investment. So our investment was $34,600. So we're going to subtract it to find our interest. So we take 40315.87 minus 34,600, and we get $5,715.87. So that's your interest. So we take, to find our rate of return, we go 5715.87, divide it by your investment, which is 34,600, and you get 0.165, which is 16.5% rate of return. So that's the first portfolio. Now we're going to do the second one to compare them. So you've got a tax-free savings bond that you're earning 2.2% at, and your current balance is $5,600. So first we're going to do our investment. So we're going to take first our $500,600. So that's our first investment. Our second investment is the purchase of end of each year a 10-year $500 CSB. So you're doing $500 at the end of every 10 years, or at the end of every year for 10 years, so 500 times 10. And the last one is the purchase, or a savings, I'm not even looking at the right spot, a savings account that earns 1.6 compounded monthly where you save $200 every month. So $200 every month for 10 years. So when we add these numbers up together, you get 5,600 plus 5,000 plus 24,000, and altogether your investment was 34,600. So that is how much you invested. Now we're going to do our portfolio. So the first one we will do is our blue, so a tax-free savings account at 2.2%. So our principal is how much we're investing, which is $5,600. Our rate is 2.2%, so 0.22. It's compounded monthly, so 12, for a term of 10 years. So we have A is equal to 5600 bracket 1 plus 0.022 divided by 12 to the power of 12 times 10. So pause the video, calculate that number. You should get 6,976.762. Oh my gosh, I didn't say that right at all. So that is how much you earned for your tax-free savings account. Now we're going to do our end of the year CSBs. So this is going to be like example 1 of this video. So we're making a chart, and it's for every 10 years. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're investing $500, and we wanted to figure out our 1 plus R over N. So it's 1 plus a rate of 3.6, so 0.036, compounded annually, which is 1. So 1.036 is our rate. So 1.036 goes in the brackets, and if it's at the end of each year, this one is held for 9 more years. So the next one will be 500 at 1.036 for 8 years. So pause the video, fill out this chart. So when you fill in the chart, you should get numbers like this. So to figure out our total earnings, we would add them all together. So pause the video, add them all together. you should get 5892.88. So your CSBs would be 5892.88. Now you need to figure out our last one, which is $200 every month. So our payments is $200 a month. Our rate is 0.016. It's compounded monthly for 10 years. So we will use our regular payment formula. So P, 1 plus R over N to the power of NT minus 1 divided by R over N. So we have $200, 1 plus, remember our NT is 12 times 10, which is 120. So 0.016 over 12 to the power of 120 minus 1 over 0.016 over 12. Pause the video, type this all in. You should get $26,007.87. So to figure out the total investment worth, we'll take all of our numbers we earned, so 6976.62 plus 5892.88 plus 26007.87, and you should get $38,877.37. Now to find our interest, we would take how much we earned and subtract how much we invested, and you should get $4,277.37. And to find our rate of return, we take the interest, 4277.37, and divide it by our investment, which was 34600, and our rate of return is 0.12, which is 12%. So, as you can see, the first portfolio had a higher rate of return. It had a higher interest earned, and altogether made more money. So there you go. I'm sorry this was so long.